Hello and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be one that I promised a while ago, and it's my paper sheet plans secret. So basically where I got my stuff from. I'm actually going to include places to avoid as well because no one wants to waste their money. I've got my notes here. Let's get started. I asked on Instagram what you wanted to know about, and I'm just going to go through all of them. Where did you get your foil from? My foil was actually the Highly Swap mink foil that's actually designed to go with the mink machine. It was between £10 to £12 roughly a roll. Huge variety of colours. I was actually told many times to try a foil brand called Patsy May because it was cheaper, and she also has a very big variety of foil, but I had heard mixed things about some of the foils, and the ones that I was using, although it's more expensive for a smaller amount, I just had it down, so I knew the exact settings and I never seemed to have problems. And I did actually have a couple of people say to me that they had foiled stickers that they hadn't used for a very long time and they were still perfect and no foil had flaked off. So I was just so happy with my foil that I didn't change, and I was willing to spend more just to stick with the good quality foil. So I used to get the Highly Swap mink foil, and I used to buy the standard ones from Hobbycraft. So they only did rose gold, gold or silver, but I used to get them from Hobbycraft. Or I used to get all of the other colours from the Mad Scrapper online. Mad Scrapper and Hobbycraft for all of my foil. So someone has actually done a bit of a more personal question and has just said, how and when did you start planning? So I have touched on this before, but I thought I would quickly just run through it again. I used to watch Blair and Elle Fowler on YouTube years ago. I loved them. I used to watch them all the time, and then Elle started to share her planning. She used to do her little planning videos and I loved it and I really got into it. So my sister was the same. She also got into it and we started to plan in a Kate Spade planner, and I used to make background stickers to cover up all of the paper, like cover up all the lines, and then we used to buy printable stickers from Elle, from her shop, Glam Planner, and then we used to put them in our planners, and then we went on to Erin Condren after that. And then after about a year I decided that I was going to give it a go and start making the stickers myself, and then I did it for 6 years. So that is basically where I started. Designing tips, I don't really have any. The only tip I would probably say is if you're struggling to design something, design a kit, like sometimes I would just really struggle, just stop, just stop. Don't do it anymore because you're probably never going to be happy with anything. So if the juices aren't flowing, just have a break, do something else and then come back to it. Usually when I did that, I would think of ideas as I was doing something else, and then I'd go back to it and then I'd be fine. I'd also say print everything out and test it. Sometimes the way that I would plan something, it would look good on the kit, but then once I had actually laid it out in my planner, it didn't look as nice. Same with washi, I would print it out and I would just see how it would look. Test everything, test it all. It's the best way. You can always see what needs changing. So I kind of think that's a design tip. So I had a lot of questions asking about my washi tape manufacturer, and I can tell you my washi tape manufacturer was Craft Washi. They actually found me. They would, even to this day, sometimes I still get messages, they would email or message on Instagram all the people that work there and like promoting their place and what they offer. And when I decided to finally do washi tape, I just found the email that I had been sent and messaged them, and that is how I found them. I've only ever had 2 issues with them. One was a lot of the washes were damaged, so they refunded me the damaged amounts, and then I think I sold them off as seconds and kept them. And then I had another one that was completely like printed wrong, and they reprinted the whole lot really quickly. Within about 2 weeks I think I received the replacements. So they are a very good company, very friendly. The last person that I spoke to was called Larry, and he was really nice, and I only got to work with him for the last launch and then I left. So yeah, that is who I used, Craft Washi. I will have everything linked down below for you. You make your washes, how long does it take? All of the artwork was from Etsy, and it was all separate floral clip art. I find it all on Etsy, and then I would piece it all together in Photoshop, and then I would put that file into Procreate on my iPad, where I would then hand draw on all of the foil bits. Sometimes I would outline some leaves or some rose petals or some flower petals, and then also all of the confetti I used to hand dot at that as well. So Photoshop and Procreate for designing the washi. So, and how long does it take? Quite a while, because trying to get the placement of the flowers used to really drive me mad, and because you need to design it in their template with the bleed line and stuff, it just used to really annoy me sometimes. But it could take me probably between like an hour if I was on a roll to like all day. The best matte sticker paper. So onto sticker paper. I have been asked this question so many times throughout the years what paper I used, and I have been through so much paper. I have tried so many different places, and I finally settled on some really amazing paper that I was really happy with. Matte paper, my standard matte paper was from Online Labels. A lot of people buy their paper from there, but mine was just standard matte. My clear paper was the matte clear transparent paper. That was for my foil stickers. Premium matte paper, which was my favourite paper. I absolutely loved it, but it was very expensive. That was from, it was called Southeast Labels, and it was the high resolution paper, and you could only buy it in a bulk of 500 sheets, and it was about £140 for 500 sheets, whereas Online Labels you can order whatever quantity you like. I think I used to get 2,000 sheets at one point, and it would be about £100 for 2,000, and this place was 500 for £140, but it was amazing paper. The print quality on there was insane, so nice and so accurate as well to the computer screens, really lovely. So that is where all of my papers are. Oh no, I actually do have another paper. My matte vinyl sticker paper that I introduced quite recently, that I used to do all of my deco sticker sheets on, was the matte white vinyl from Evergreen Goods. And I used to get about 30 to 40 sheets at a time, because I didn't really need a lot, so I could fit 2 bits on. That was from there. Lovely paper, print quality was really good. It worked really well in my Canon, not so much in my HP printer, but the Canon, loved it. Manufacturers for pins. So we all know my horrendous experience with a pin manufacturer, the one and only time I did a pin. That was with a company called Enamel Pin Factory. And I didn't share it at the time, but I don't care now. They were absolutely awful to work with, and it was about 3 years ago, and still to this day I despise the whole thing that happened. Absolutely awful to work with. And there is another person I follow on YouTube. She also was explaining a bad situation she had with a pin manufacturer, and I messaged her and I said, by any chance is this Enamel Pin Factory? And she said, yes it is. So it's not just me that's had a bad experience, but that was that company that I would avoid. I mean, you may use them and have an excellent experience, and I'm very happy for you, but I don't recommend them. I did a lot of research after, because I did want to get more pins, but they're such an investment, they're so expensive, and I didn't want to risk what happened the first time by doing a pre-sale. Last time I did the pre-sale, ordered the pins, they were awful. I then lost the dispute with PayPal against them, so I lost all of that money. I then had to refund everyone, so I had spent out the money to get them, and then I had to refund everyone, so I lost about £400 doing that, and it was awful. So I didn't want to risk doing a pre-sale again in case something happened again. But the place that I did want to try, that I did hear a lot of good things about, was called Made by Cooper. And I stumbled across them on Instagram, and then I was talking to a couple of other people on Instagram at the time, and they had said that they did use them and that they were very good. They were more expensive, but their quality control was really good. Their design team was really helpful. Someone said that you could actually scribble a drawing on a napkin and send it to their design team, and they would bring it to life. So they did sound really good, and I really wanted to try them, but I didn't get the chance. But Made by Cooper does sound and look like a brilliant enamel pin place, so you could try them. Someone said manufacturer was just sticky notes. I didn't actually do sticky notes, but I think the washi tape manufacturer did do a lot of stuff like that. They branched out and did a lot of things. I think they now do enamel pins, key rings, I think, journaling cards, stickers, sticker sheets and sticky notes. I think they all do that now, so it's worth asking them. Manufacturer of your notepads. So my manufacturer for my notepads, for paper sheet plans, I've always said this, I had another shop called Paper Sheet Co that was designing blog planners, because at the time I was a blogger, and I used to get notepads printed from a company called Brunel One, and I used to use them, and I used to get a fair few issues with them. The glue binding at the top would either be damaged or just coming off. Print quality was always hit and miss, and I just always used to keep going back to them because they were quick turnaround and cheaper than other places. So when I started to do notepads again with this shop, I went back to them and it was still the same problems. It was still issues, print quality awful. That's why I had the C grade and B grade notepads. So I bit the bullet and decided to go with a different place that was a lot more expensive, but the print quality was so good. And that one was called Banana Print. You could buy as little as 8 notepads and it'd be more expensive. The more you buy, the smaller the price per unit. I used to get 16 notepads just to see how they would go. But the print quality on them was so nice. The paper quality was 100 times better and they were really quick as well. So I only used them twice, but I didn't have any issues with them in those 2 times. Amazing, really recommend them. That was Banana Print. For my journaling cards, I used to use printed.com, and then they were always really good, and they used to I know Catnip used to use them and has started to have issues with them. I was the same. They used to be really good, and then I would get things that were printed in the wrong finish or printed on the wrong paper, and they would always replace them, but it was just annoying having to keep telling them, oh, you've done it wrong again, oh, you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong. I also used to get my biodegradable seller bags from them, but then they just randomly stopped one day. They then changed their website as well, and I could not for the life of me get this website to work properly, and I just didn't like it, so I never ordered any more from them. But all of my journaling cards were from printed.com. Also my bookmarks are from them as well. My cello bags that I did used to get, first off, I used to get from EcoCraft. They were a lot more expensive. They then kept having issues with getting them in, so then I went to printed.com, but then when they disappeared off of printed.com, I went back to EcoCraft. They are more expensive, but they do have a huge variety of sizes. So another one, going back to the washi tape, was actually any tips on washi suppliers with lower minimum order quantity. Washi, where I actually used to get mine from, was a low order quantity of 50. So if you only wanted to just get 50 of each thing, it was fairly decent prices. Someone did say how to do sticker kits, the sizing and what software do you use. I only ever designed in Silhouette Studio. I could not for the life of me get to grips with Photoshop. I found Silhouette Studio really easy to use. And the best sizing, the width of my sticker is 3.8 centimeters. They are the size of my stickers, and Silhouette Studio is where I always designed in. I do actually have one video of a design with me, very old now, but basically the whole process is exactly the same. I hope that has answered all of your questions. Oh, where other places? Packaging. Boxes were from eBay, envelopes were from eBay, and I think they were called Meg4Tech. Yeah, Meg4Tech was the eBay shop that my boxes and envelopes are from. Packing tape was from Sycamore, which I have linked down below already. Tissue paper was just from eBay, just whatever was in stock at the time. I used to get whatever. My printer was the Canon IP8750, the Pixma, brilliant printer. I think this one is older now, they've probably got a newer version out, but that printer was incredible, really good, and such a good investment. Anything else? I'm just looking around, trying to think of things. I think that's it. If you have any questions at all of anything that you want to know about, just leave it down below in a comment and I will get back to you. I really hope you have found this interesting and helpful. After 6 long years, I have finally shared all of my secrets and information, and it feels good. I hope it helps you in some way. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you soon in another one. Bye.